Hey, welcome back, Slackers. We got a very special episode for you guys today. The boys got to do their very first in-person interview with frontman of Atreyu, Brandon Saller. It was pretty cool. They got to meet up with him in his tour bus, and things got hot. So hot, they had to crank the AC. So, the audio was a bit fucked. Here's a little taste of how it sounded.
Everything with music in general is when people show.
Yeah, so I was able to do a little magic. It's still a little bit different than you're used to, so nonetheless, it was a good time. Atreyu's got a new EP out called The Hope of a Spark. There will be a link in the show notes. Check that shit out. Here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Sultans of Slack. We're really excited. We're here with Brandon Saller, no S on the end of it, right?
There's only one of me. I'm not plural.
I knew you were going to mess it up.
We're keeping that.
We had a big debate on the car ride over here, and I kept putting an S on it. I don't know why.
Technically, my brother will be here later.
Oh,
Then there will be Sallers.
I knew that, dude. I knew it. See,
Yeah.
I knew that was.
So is it the same brother that played in Hell or High Water with you?
No.
Well, did you have a brother that
No.
played in the band as a?
No. My brother did merch for Atreyu forever. So that might be what you're confusing. He toured with us for like 12 years.
I'm just gonna make sure to keep my edit button. And
I actually want you.
editing this.
I want you to only ask me incorrect questions.
That would be so sick.
Yeah. Your mom tweeted, right?
Yeah. So,
Not that I know.
tell me about this STD they named after you.
Well,
Oh my god.
this is a good start.
Yeah.
I like where this is going.
Yeah. No, this is usually what our episodes are like, but
So is it the brother that brought you to play your first, like in your first band when you were a kid?
Yes. So my brother was friends with our old singer and Dan in like school, and they were in a band and they needed a drummer, and he was like, "My brother's a drummer." I mean, I was barely a drummer back then, and so that's how my brother's the reason why I started a band with Dan and our old singer Alex in the first place. So I have him to blame for most of this.
yeah, brothers are like that.
I think I read like what, 13?
Yeah, I was like 12 or 13 when we first started.
Crazy.
Dude, that is wild.
My brother, I got a D on my report card. My mom was like, "You're not playing the Battle of the Bands." And my brother was like, "I'm sorry, Mom, but yes, he is." And they got in an argument about that. And he was like, "You have to understand, you're not punishing Brandon if you don't let him play. You're punishing his friends. That's not fair."
Yeah.
It's like they've been practicing whatever, like tell him to do something else. So I just had to do like some other bullshit.
Yeah.
But my
That's
brother was
logic.
there.
Got to play though.
And even when we started touring, my mom was like, "You can go." I was 17 when we started touring. She's like, "You can go, but your brother has to go." And I was like, "All right, it's fine. You can sell merch." And then he just kept doing it for like 12 years.
Dang.
What's the age difference? You and your brother?
He's 2 years older than me.
Oh, so you guys were pretty close.
Yeah,
then.
close.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
Southern California for the most part.
Oh, okay.
I was born in LA, lived there till I was 6, and then moved to Northern California till I was 12. And then the rest of it has been in Orange County.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, it's funny how many of this style of band come out of that area.
Strangely enough, right?
Yeah.
It seems weird. It's like, I don't know why. None of us sound like what Orange County sounds like either.
Yeah.
Right.
Predating
Yeah.
us, you know?
Well, I keep thinking, is there like a band in like I'm trying to figure out what the band in common is that like had all these branch outs of like metalcore and like.
I think if you look at specifically like us and Avenged,
Mhm.
both of us are very similar with musical taste. Like we both grew up on punk and like NoFX and Pennywise
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like that kind of NoFX is Northern California, but just that kind of Southern California punk.
Yeah.
But we're also into like metal bands. So like, and even the Orange County hardcore scene, like we were both into those kind of bands as well. So
Yeah.
that makes sense to me. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. That punk. That's probably what it is, I guess. And
And that's why us and Avenged both have that like punk thing.
yeah.
Because we both came from that.
I always think of Second. Do you remember their song "Second Heartbeat"?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I always think of when I think of like the punk thing, because that gets brought up in that conversation a lot
Oh, yeah.
about them. You know, and was it because when I saw you, oh man, it must have been 15 years ago or something. You were still drumming and singing, which we were talking because Andy's a drummer. And he has a
What,
couple.
you can't do both?
I'm very sure.
That's weird. You can't do both?
He can't even do one. That's the crazy part.
It's true.
That's awesome.
I'm a really shitty singer and barely a drummer, but I
Do you know what?
tried it.
I
and
was
it's-
that at one point also. You just got to keep on going, man.
Dude. And
You can do it.
I gotta get back in.
you're only 36.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Never too late to throw it all away and
Yeah.
start a band.
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Shout out to Death by Ligers, Andy's Northwestern mountain folk band that he's in.
That's tight. That's tight.
No, but we were talking about that. And I kind of wanted to talk. Actually, we should shout out Courtney because we asked in our Discord if anybody had any questions. Courtney asked how that transition. I probably should read the actual question, but she asked that she wanted to know from Brandon, like, what was the transition like going from, well, a drummer and then a drummer that sings and a drummer that sings clean vocals too. I know that
Yeah.
is even harder.
Yeah.
And then a transition from, that to lead singer.
They were both sort of not by force, but like originally I played drums and me and Dan were in like a pop punk band. And one day we were doing a demo and I for a song that I wrote and our singer couldn't come to the studio. I say studio, it was like Dan's bedroom that some dude brought like a 4-track over. So I was like, I'll just record the vocals. And Dan was like, why, like, fuck that dude. Why aren't you the singer in this band? That's dumb.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And then he was like, why don't we start singing in our band? Like, no, not a lot of people do that at the time.
Right.
So it was just kind of like, okay. So I started singing some choruses and stuff. And I listened to our old shit and it's so bad. Like I didn't know what I was doing yet. But that gradually just honestly made me start focusing more on singing and wanting to make that like a priority to stand out because obviously people don't usually go home humming the drums. So,
Oh my God.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then when it came time to do this, I think, people always say that, things happen for a reason and life hands you things that teach you something later. And I think that me starting Atreyu going on hiatus made me start another band that I just sang in. And I toured with that band for 5 years and got to tour with Stone Sour and watch Corey Taylor and got to tour with The Darkness and watch Justin fucking do frontman, like ultimate frontman shit.
Yeah,
right.
And, go out nothing more and see what they do on stage and really learn a lot about being a frontman. So when it came time to do this, it was like when the band's like, you should do it. I was like, okay, I think that I'm ready for that.
Right.
Well,
Now.
It's like leaving the drums behind. You had to pick up like more of the entertain the crowd side of it, right? So that's probably a challenge that I've seen it.
But it's fun for me. I mean, I think that I'm naturally like, if you know me, I'm a very extroverted person. Like I'm not shy, and I'm loud as fuck most of the time.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm pretty subdued. Just got back from the gym, and we're hanging in a very comfortable position. But
Yeah.
later, I'll be loud.
Right.
So it wasn't like a difficult transition for me, but to me, it's really fun to be more up close and personal with people because I think that we're a band that feeds off of energy, and it's one of those things where I can get you're closer to that being
Right.
up front. So it's awesome.
Yeah. I've gone back and we've talked to some of our people in the Discord and some videos from concerts that they've been to have been shared and you're getting out in the crowd and walking,
Yeah.
going through, slapping, high-fiving everybody. So
Yeah.
like very, very good in the fact that a lot of people just, they're great, but they stay on the stage and
I just want
do all that stuff.
yeah, I think that different people have different approaches. I think we're all about making people kind of forget that they're here watching a show and just make them feel like they're part of something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that the more you can do that with entertainment, the better, because then the better release and kind of escape
connection.
it is for the
Yeah.
people that are watching.
Yeah, the connection is awesome. Especially, I mean, there's nothing like the live element connection, which is like, well, we were all at that DBC party when you got on and sang, dude, that
Shit was hilarious because Matt's like, dude, you want to come out and come to our Death Path party and like do an acoustic thing or something? I was like, well, I can't play guitar anymore because I got in an accident like a couple years ago and my left hand is kind of wonky and I can't play acoustic, but I have these other versions of Atreyu songs that I've done and they're more like electronic, which kind of works for
Yeah.
You know, an NFT party that's
Yeah.
on brand.
Your first question was, "What's an NFT, dude?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean I've already
Yeah.
But and it was like, cool, what do you want me to do? And he was like, what do you know, they're old friends and they're accommodating too, but it's just like, just fly me out. I want to support your thing. So that's all I need. Just come out and do it. Like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, what? Well, how many songs? He's like, what do you think? I'm like, it's your thing. Like, what do you want me to do?
That is
Until the day he's like, hey, there's a stage and cool, everything. What do you want to do? I'm like, whatever you want to do. This is your party. He's like, whatever. Make it cool. I'm like, all right.
that is
And
the
then-
most Matt thing ever,
Yeah.
though, to do that.
So
huh?
the morning of, I'm like, hey Brian, like, do you want to play one of the songs with me? He's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, just there's a guitar solo, but it's acoustic. You want to just like rip an acoustic guitar solo? He's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, you want to go over it? He's like, oh. I'm like, all right. It was so casual. But I mean, it turned out to be cool. I mean, that's what's cool about those parties. That's what's cool about that they've truly curated about Death Bats Club, is that like there's shit that happened there that will only happen there,
Mhm.
and you'll only know that it existed if you were able to be there.
Yep.
And like, even to the fact of, it's like, why are you here? Why are you playing these versions of these songs that no one's heard before?
Yeah.
Why is he playing? Why are you now playing an Avenged song when Matt's standing right over there?
Yeah.
That's like, that's the second time I've had to sing Matt's vocals when he's watching me.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm like, it's not.
What is that like?
Sucks, dude. We did a fucking. Because I will make eye contact. We just fuck.
Yeah.
We did a Muse Inc. show and Good Charlotte played, and they played The River.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like, I've sang The River with them more than Matt has,
Right.
just because we've been in the same place, you know. He's like, you want to do it tonight? I'm like, Matt's here. They're like, yeah, but he's not gonna do it. Like, you want to do it? It's just like, yeah, just watching me.
That is such a Matt thing. Every time, like, people try to plan things with him and stuff like that, he's just like, oh, yeah, we'll just figure it out. I don't know.
He goes with the flow.
Yeah.
That's a great way to live.
It's a good quality, that's for sure. Yeah.
But like that just took my mind to the new EP, your guys's. God Devil.
Yeah.
Dude, the vocals in that fucking song. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
you're
a
like-
fun one.
You're like everywhere. You got some like growly screams and like some really high pitched, like shrilly, and then just the range and everything, you know, that you have just as a clean vocalist too. It was very impressive, dude. I was like, this EP is fucking badass.
Thank you. That's my favorite song on the EP.
Is it? That was my favorite. That was the
Yeah.
one that
Oh,
jumped
it's
at me.
amazing.
It's just different. Like it's got such a different thing to it. It's like such a signature thing with like the sounds, that all out of the synth kind of stuff in that.
Yeah.
And even the vocal, like the vocal is very different from me. I don't scream almost full chord, like verses of songs. And then even Porter's parts are like so powerful. Like it's a fun one. It's a fun one.
Dude, that Watch Me Burn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The intro into that. Oh, man. Like, it gets me hyped because, like, you know, I don't know. A lot of times when I listen to newer metal, I don't get like hyped up, but just like how it starts off slow and then it just goes in so hard.
Yeah.
And that, oh,
I actually just sent that to a friend of mine. He was like, I need some new music for the gym. And a lot of songs, it'll be like, oh, this will get you through your last set. I'm like, no, this one will probably get you through your first one because that intro comes in so
Oh,
This will
dude.
get you started.
yeah.
dude, it's so sweet.
I
It
love the
comes so
EP
hard.
because Drowning hit me like it's just you can just turn that song on and enjoy it right from the first time you hear it. It's one of those songs. And then I feel like Watch Me Burn, it took me a minute. It was one of those songs you had to listen to a couple times. But after that, I was like, this fucking song rips. I love it. And then it got me deeper into the EP and I listened to God Devil and was like, bro, what the fuck?
We did that
Anyway,
kind of on purpose. It was like, it's funny because we all thought the same thing. Like Drowning to us had like more of a sense of urgency to it.
Yeah.
Like it had everything about our band that exists in that song. And it just had like this sense of like urgency where like we wanted to, this is what we always played people first, like our friends and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then Watch Me Burn is like more obvious. It's got everything that like the single needs and the radio needs.
Right.
But takes a second, you know, and then like I think the combination of the two sets you up for the other songs on the EP. So
Dude, that's like I can't wait to see that one live. The Watch Me Burn. That's like,
You playing that tonight?
yeah, we're playing every song on the EP tonight.
yes.
That's dope.
That's cool about putting out an EP rather than a record, is you can like actually play it all.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
that's so true though, huh? Because it's like you can't. There's so many times. I don't know how many like songs from my favorite bands that I would just be like, oh, I really love track freaking like 10
But
on the.
they're probably not gonna play
Yeah,
it.
but they're never gonna play that one. You know what I mean?
It's tough because it's cool because I mean, you put out your album and you want people to love it and whatever, but the truth is they do, but they're still learning to exist with that music as you are. And there's other songs that they love more and they've lived with and have been important to them and whatever. So it's like you can't not play the hits and play too much new shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like almost like you play the new record the year after. You know, it's like you gotta kind of leak it in, but 4 songs is respectable. You know, it's not overkill.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Atreyu has been a band for me too. Like I've been a fan for a really long time. We were talking about it, and I think Madden is what we come to conclusion.
That was probably the first. Yeah. But I mean, I think
it was a little before that, but that was
because
right around that.
We've been into the
era.
metalcore thing for we were in the metalcore thing like early 2000s or whatever when we were like 14, right, or whatever it was. But and of course, one other way that we were getting music because nobody was streaming anything back then was like through media. And, dude, when that is it. It's I can't remember the name of the song right now. I'm blanking on it. That was
X's
on Madden.
and O's?
I think it was X's and O's.
X's and O's.
Back in the day, that was like so huge. Video games were so huge for exposure.
Yeah.
That and like movie trailers. Like I remember like the Underworld thing was so huge for multiple bands and you know, Madden was huge. Like video games in general were just massive. Like even going further back, look at Tony Hawk.
Oh,
like, look what Tony Hawk did to like every band that's on that soundtrack.
Big time.
Oh, dude.
Every time I hear it, like a song,
the Goldfinger song.
Yeah, every time I hear it, any song I hear that was on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I'm always like, oh, I'm 11 again.
Yeah,
you know?
straight up. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's what's crazy because it's transformed. It's just like, and I don't know how much you feel like this affects you guys as a band, but like now that it's all at our fingertips, like just like I used to have to, okay, this is the CD I'm going to listen to on this drive. And I would just like listen to one CD that I had, unless you had pirated copies, which we never did. We never pirated. We never burnt CDs, not one time. But like, so a lot of times you just be like, oh yeah, this is like my driving album. I'm gonna drive somewhere. I'm gonna put in a whole album of this Red Hot Chili Peppers or you know whatever it was. But now it's like everything's at your fingertips.
And it's like you can make your own playlist. You can just go to a random playlist.
Yeah,
it's really sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's cool because it's. I mean, I love everything being accessible, but it does. I mean, we were joking. I'm not joking, but I mean that's kind of the reason why we like the kind of EP or single release method because it gives the listener who has zero attention span. Like it actually gives the art a chance to survive. Right. Like I think a lot of times a band will put out an album nowadays. You have 3 or 4 songs that got put out first or were a single or had a light shined on them.
Yeah.
And they'll stream in the 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 millions. And then you have 7 songs on the record that are a million. You know what I mean? It's like you have all this fucking art you created that just sits in the dark corner.
Yeah.
Never actually gets a chance. Yeah. So it's like rather than kind of wasting that, why don't we try to give the opportunity for every song we're releasing to actually get a chance to like be heard?
And it's becoming more of a thing. I'm seeing you see a lot more bands doing that thing. Is that something like a record label kind of pushes back on? Do they want like the standard, like the way it's always been done kind of deal?
It took some talking to with our label specifically. But it was something that was important to us to be like, listen, like we don't have any interest in just doing albums. Like it's gotta be something different. And I think a lot of people, you know, it's new is scary.
Oh yeah.
So you can't tell the executives like there's not enough examples of it working in rock to make them be like, sure, I'm sure this is gonna be fine. But like we kind of forced the hand a little bit. But you know, but our label is also cool like that. Like they're very much a partner where they're down to do all of our weird ideas. We joke about this with our videos. It's like we got drunk on the bus and we're like, what should we do for Drowning? The idea for Drowning was, oh, dude, let's recreate the pool scene from The Sandlot. And then we watched it and we're like, there's not enough meat on the bone to make this a whole video.
Yeah.
Like you have your like Wendy Peppercorn moment, you have the drowning moment, you have like the cannonball moment. That's kind of it. I was like, okay, so I'm like, I don't want it to be like, oh, underwater, like the serious video. I'm like, what if we're like bullies at a pool. And we're like hitting on babes and like throwing kids in the pool. And we're like, well, what if the babes are like 60 plus?
Yeah, doing their pool class.
And
Yeah,
like there's a synchronized swimming part. So we all just say these stupid ideas
Yeah.
and then send it to our manager. And our manager's like, oh my God. and then everyone says yes, and we're filming it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
getting abs painted on.
yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, dude, like, watch me burn the big single. We're gonna push that to radio. What's the idea for the video? Like, we have it.
Final
And
destination.
our manager's also like, all right, it's like, cool, we're in a warehouse, and there's gonna be like tons of pyro, right? Metal band video, and they're like, oh, cool, like, but then we flip it upside down, and everyone gets hurt. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I get set on fire. And everyone's like, you know how much this is gonna cost? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Let's see if we can make it happen. I made it happen.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have this really dumb video. My ear's falling off.
But the thing is, it's
That's
not
awesome.
dumb, though.
It's hilarious.
It's got the humor element. It's unique. It's not what you see all the time. Like I was like, man, like I'm sitting here laughing at all of them, all three of the videos that I've seen, and I'm like, it always makes you wonder. Like, it's not the typical video. Are they going for humor? Like, I don't want to laugh. I don't want to, and especially being able to talk to you, I don't want to bring it up and be like, oh, it made me laugh, and you're like, dude, that's not what.
He's like, bro, I was serious about the abs, bro.
Yeah, that's what I look like inside. That's what my heart.
That's how I identified. Was
I identify as ripped.
Oh man, it was great.
Now, there's a handful of people that were like, dude, I connected so hard to this song in such a deep and like dark, special place for me.
Yeah.
And then you put out the video and just ruined it. And I'm like, that's what?
Well, dude, but
it's redundant. I
It'll
don't want
stand
to.
this test of time because, like, you know, like when you watch like early 2000s metalcore music videos,
They're all the same.
well, like at the time it was like, oh man, like, but now you watch them and you're like, all right, like the emo
corny.
haircut, yeah, it's like
So
corny,
corny,
right?
yeah.
But like, dude, you can watch All Star by Smash Mouth forever, right? And it's still a good music there. Or
Shout out Smash Mouth.
shout out to Smash Mouth or Blink 182,
Yeah,
right?
it's all the
Like
same. Foo Fighters, perfect example.
yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just funny. Like, we have an idea. We want to do a video. I don't even care for the song, really. My next idea is I want to do a video where we're all giant birds, like we're birds, just flying around, like really well done, like costumed birds flying around, just shitting on people. but the shit is like what a human-sized bird would shit. It's a lot, like a bucket.
Yeah.
And that's the whole video.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
It's right now it's just in the dumb brain, but who knows? 6 months from now, you might see
Yeah.
bird shit.
Yeah.
Your secret's safe with us.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm waiting,
Everyone
dude.
plays their cards right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, that would be hilarious. That would probably be my favorite part. Andy and I made a Bigfoot video one time for the.
No, dude, it's got
It's the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, dude, we think we are the funniest people. We're not though.
I have that kind of brain though. Like I'm afraid, but with me, I'm like afraid people will judge my serious stuff. But I'm like, you can't
you're
fuck
allowed
with me
to
on my
be
funny stuff because I'm trying to be dumb.
You're allowed to be both.
Yeah.
I think that when you show both, it just shows that you're an authentic human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's of most importance.
Well, that's what's crazy about this genre too. This genre, like just this genre of music, there's so many. It's such a wide range of like tone and songs and like you know what I mean.
My favorite thing with music in general is when people shock you. And I'm not talking about Manson shock. I'm
Right.
talking about I did not see that coming at all. Or yeah, I'm saying like I didn't see that coming at all. Or like the promo photo is funny, or the video is funny, or I just like being surprised.
Yeah.
I don't want to expect anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's what we do. What we do. It's the same. I mean, I think Avenged will probably come up 900 times in this podcast just because we're all
Right.
Same thing with them.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people hate about them. For every album is a different feel, a different part of the genre. Is what myself and I know these guys at least love about them. Is it's always new, it's always fresh. Like I love Disturbed, I love Ghost. I'm not ripping on them, but Disturbed albums kind of sound like Disturbed. Yeah, you know what you're gonna get.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, there's nothing wrong. And I still listen to them. You know, I listened to them on the plane on the way over here. So, but new and fresh is always good, and that's what I loved about the videos. Like I'm trying to get caught up and learn what I can, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Final Destination vibes going on.
Yeah, that is so funny about that. Yeah, we had the thought, we did one of these like on a Twitter space, what we were talking about it's like the music matures with you when it changes, right? Like that.
Absolutely.
You know, and it matures with, and even you, like, I mean, you guys still have such a metal vibe with this newer stuff and stuff like that, but it's cool to track from when I would see, like when I saw you guys at the E Center. Oh my gosh, dude, that was just awesome.
I had a funny ass quote that I had read about. I can't even remember who the hell it was, but maybe you could remember. I can't remember that. It was like Atreyu is too emo to be something, and too.
I just read this. It was on our Wikipedia actually.
Was maybe that's where I read
bass
it.
player's wife was trying to fix our Wikipedia. She's a sweetheart, and because our bass player's name is Porter Marco McKnight. In his younger years, he went by Mark because, as you can imagine, like they used to call him like Porter Potty, and you know.
Oh yeah.
There's like
Okay.
it's just a more abnormal name, and then he went by Mark his whole life until he was 20 something, and was like, I'm an adult. My name's cool actually. I'm gonna go by my actual name again. So like, she kept trying to change his name because it always says Porter Mark McKnight in quotes. And he's like, well, that's my actual name. So she went in and changed it all, and someone kept changing it back.
Oh,
And it was like, who? That's why Wikipedia is the dumbest fucking thing on earth. Because there's no regulation. It's just like
Anybody
I
can
could go in there
change
and be
anything.
like, Atreyu is a gang of monkeys.
Yeah.
They throw their shit at each other, and
Just keep
that's
changing it
it's like-
back.
and it wouldn't matter.
now Atreyu is a flock of seagulls.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where like that. So that quote was on our Wikipedia. Something about too emo to. It was stupid, but
It was stupid, but
it did very accurately depict us as band. You can't really put it. There's like no put your finger
But
on it.
that's what I was, and I think I got off on a tangent. But that's part of the reason why I loved Atreyu throughout the years, and that's why I stuck with bands like Avenged Sevenfold and stuff, is because I was the same way. I didn't like getting the same product every time.
Yeah.
And you guys have been pretty fearless to do whatever it is you want to do.
Well, like you said earlier, it's like your fans mature with you. There's so much truth in that. And in the same way, like we don't want to write music we wrote when we were 17.
Right.
You probably don't really want to listen to it either. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a handful of bands you listen to for nostalgia that you listen to when you're younger.
Yeah.
Right.
And it'll always have a special place. But like, I don't listen to as much like metal and hardcore as I did when I was 18.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's fucking loud and I'm 40.
Yeah.
Almost
Well,
40.
it's true.
It
You know what
makes
I mean?
sense.
So sometimes you
That's
just
so
want to
true.
like, throw
I'm
some
going
Harry,
through a real
and
hip hop phase right
you know,
now.
sometimes you want to throw Harry Styles on and just
Yeah,
vibe.
just your Harry
Yeah.
Styles.
You know
You
what I
got
mean?
some watermelon, whatever that
John
song
Mayer
is.
Continuum and have a glass of wine. You know?
Right. There you
Like,
go.
this is life.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not always fucking, in flames and
Yeah.
soil work.
And that goes from the artist standpoint as far as like what you put out as well. Like
Yeah,
you
that's what
put
we're
out
listening
music.
Our music is a
Yeah.
very clear, crystal clear picture of where the five of us are at
Right.
when we were in the studio making that record.
Yeah.
What we were listening to, how we felt. Like, so there's no blinder on that. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like and it's funny too because you learn not to apologize for it. Like, it used to be like, what ifs? What if they don't like it? Oh man, like
Yeah.
fuck, man, they're gonna call us. What are they gonna say? It's like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Don't fucking care. There's so many buttholes in this world. You're not gonna appease them all, and
Right.
you learn to not care anyways.
Right.
So art is not about making somebody else happy.
And that's with Hell or High Water. Or,
Yeah.
you've got a question from one of our people in our Discord, our good friend Hank. We were talking about that.
Shout
He
out
said,
to friend Hank.
Shout out to Hank.
Shout
and
out
his
to
dad.
Hank just got
Hank's
married
dad,
too.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just
Congrats,
got married in
man.
Vegas.
Congrats,
Him and
Hank.
Lisa,
Congrats,
two
Hank.
deathbeds. Yeah. The song Blow had like a 80s hair metal feel.
Yeah.
And, Go Alone. Let's see, what did he say? You had like a outlaw country rock feel with like Go Alone. Like,
Yeah.
what made you want to blend those, like try those genres out? Like, what kind of challenges did that present for you? Because it was something different than you've kind of done.
Yeah. I felt like Go Alone. I mean, I'll just kind of go both directions. Go Alone was a fun one because that was one of like the first like handful of songs I wrote for Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
Hell or High Water started as more of a solo project, and it was
Mhm.
called the Black Cloud Collective, and it was much more like Americana, acoustic. And
Mhm.
I played like we did maybe 10 shows, and then I did like one tour with a band as the Black Cloud Collective, and I realized that like I can't just stand there and play acoustic guitar. Like that gets boring to me.
Right.
So it's like I want to be like a band. This needs to be more energetic. And then we did one tour, and it was way more energetic, so it kind of transferred into that. But Go Alone came from doing that too. And Matt's really good at kind of storyteller shit. So like when it was like, oh, do you want to do a song together? It was like, yeah, sure. I had like bones to it, but it was like, let's tell a fucking Western story, you know?
Right.
So that turned out awesome. I love that song. Blow, that comes straight from Dan. Dan has always been our dude. We have a song every record or so that tries to scratch Dan's 80s back.
Yeah.
And that's his genre. That's his era. He loves everything 80s metal and Below came from that. We have a new song that's not released kind of in the same vein. Like it happens every now and then, it peeks its head, but it's like, why the fuck not? Like it's like, oh, this is like a cock rock song. And it's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yes. I don't know if you didn't catch that. That's what we were trying to do.
Right.
Like we hear it also.
Right.
But just, why the fuck not? We have songs that are like, there's a song on our last record called Terrified. And it's a fucking guitar solo away from a pop song.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like I joked to our label, I was like, you're gonna show out some fucking big bucks and put this to pop radio or what?
Yeah.
But it's like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Just do whatever.
I feel like that's the beauty of this genre is that if you listen to it wrong, then you're just stuck in one band, you're stuck in one mode. But if you listen to it right, you listen to your favorite band and you let your favorite band inform your music taste. Maybe your favorite band has some songs that sound a little bit country, or maybe you know what I mean? Like
you let your favorite band introduce you to their favorite bands.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's kind of a cool thing from a fan perspective to be like, oh, cool. Like I want to, like, if maybe I can listen to what they were listening to and better understand what they wrote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same. I mean, there's a lot of bands that do that. You can really, like, if you really dig in and figure out what they're listening to, what their influences are, it's like, oh, I can map that out now in their songs.
Yeah.
You know?
And it makes a lot of sense. The connections. I always think of that with Brian or Sinister Gates. He's with the Beatles. He talks about the Beatles all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I see him talk about the Beatles in interviews and stuff a lot.
Well, it's also with all those dudes that a lot of those kind of, a lot of their influences are just fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like they're off the wall.
Yeah.
Like we joke, I was playing, I was playing some of Baptized, maybe. It might have been some of our new stuff to Brian. And he was playing me some songs from their new record. This is a while ago. And I played him a couple of mine. And I was joking and I was like, it's funny because like you're Zappa and I'm Petty.
Right.
Like you have the Zappa songs that are all over the fucking map and they're fucking crazy and take you on this adventure where like my brain is Tom Petty and it's like, how catchy can the chorus be and how fast can we get there?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? And they're
That's not a
both
bad thing, though.
beautiful in their own right.
Yeah.
But it's just cool that the different brains, how different brains work. I love that. Like I could never write music like that. I don't have the brain.
Right.
So I listen to bands like that. And that's what's funny is like, I listen to a lot of bands where I'm like, I could never do this, but I have such a great respect for it because I'm like, I don't even know how you start writing this song.
No.
I don't know how, you know what I mean? Like there's so many bands like that. That's what I love about music is that you can actually do different things.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is Sorry Miss Jackson cover.
Oh, yeah.
That's so dope.
yeah.
Dude, that came out of nowhere too. We did the Hell or High Water did the first tour with Nothing More. And then while we were on it, they booked us to do the next tour. And I was talking with Mark, the guitar player, and he was like, you guys should do something off the wall for the next tour just to like get some attention. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, put out a song or do whatever. Like,
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
That's all right.
do a cover or something cool, you know? And I'm like, oh, good thinking. I was like, we've been meaning to do something like that, you know? We're just like, you forget, you just get in the swing. And then he's like, I would just do something weird and off the wall. I'm like, all right. And the next day I was like, we're going to cover fucking Outcast. And he's like, I don't know if that's where I was going, but fuck yeah. And dude, it popped off. Like we played that song every night on that tour. And that was like a turning point in our set where people were like, they just did what?
I'm a little mad I missed it live.
Yeah, it was fun. We had our guitar player, Joey, would play drums. And then Kyle would come out. And obviously me and him both did all the vocals. So I would do all the Andre parts. He would do all the big boy parts.
Oh yeah, dude. I am mad I missed that. That would be freaking sweet.
Someday, maybe.
It was rad.
It's funny though, because so you're in your 40s now. You said that earlier. I'm not just guessing.
I'll be 40 in June.
Okay, you look like you're 22, just so you know.
I know.
The abs, right? The peanut on abs. But so that's funny because what do you feel like the last like few rounds of writing songs, what do you feel like has been your biggest influence?
I don't know. It's weird. Like, I admittedly listen to my own music too much. Um,
Is that taboo?
I don't think so.
Describe too much though.
I'll say 70%
70%.
of my music intake is my own music.
Wow.
But that is because my point of view in writing songs is write this awesome song that you have, like, that I want to hear,
Right.
that I haven't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's like, write that song that you doesn't exist yet, that
Yeah.
you want to hear a million times in a row.
Yeah.
So
Cool way to look at it. Yeah.
I'll listen to like our unreleased shit or like albums that we're writing forever. And then I write so much music other than Atreyu that it's like, oh, I remember that song. I'll go just like
All
check
right.
it out, whatever. And so a lot of my influence comes from fucking absolute nowhere. But I like that. Like, I think that most of my best ideas just kind of like come out of thin air. And there's some fucking Jack White interview where he's saying how inspiration comes from absolute nowhere if you let it enter. But then once it enters, I'm paraphrasing, it's like, then it's not yours anymore. It just takes you wherever it wants to go.
Mhm.
And I
That's
think
right.
that's a lot of the way that we write, especially the last couple albums. That's really how we've written. Like, we're not the get in the studio, like get in the rehearsal room and jam out songs band
Right.
anymore. It's much more from the hip, where it's like shoot from the hip, where it's like get in a room. What's everyone got today? I'll sing an idea. I got an idea for a chorus. Dan's got an idea. Porter's got an idea. Everyone kind of goes through what they got, and we'll be like, ooh, let's work on that one. And then we work on that song. 3 hours later, we have a skeleton of a song. We eat some food, come back and finish it. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's very just like in the moment,
Yeah.
and it comes out of thin air. And I love that. I love I hate overthinking art in
Yeah,
general.
that's great. It's like get in there and get it done, because I watch a lot of interviews and songs don't hold up if somebody's working on it for too long. Like, it could be
Our best
Two-
songs were written in like 5 minutes.
2-3
Straight up, I'm not.
yeah, 2-3 days later
That's
they got to
awesome.
scrap the song because they're just not feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
it's
awesome.
get it in the moment, get it down, and
Do you feel like as you guys have gotten older, like the I don't know, I guess maybe the workload on writing has kind of spread out more?
It has, but it's not a workload anymore. I feel like we just like it. We just enjoy it.
It is fun.
We're never like, we're very, very fortunate where this band at the moment, at least, doesn't have a shortage of
Right.
creativity. I think because we're all in a good place, like mentally with this band,
Mhm.
that like the band isn't hard for us right now. Like, touring is physically and mentally exhausting, but like we're not like, oh damn it. Like, we are having so much fun right now.
Yeah.
And like this being in the studio is the same way. So it's like we have plans to do some stuff over the summer, and it's like unrelated to writing new music, but it's like, should we just set up some sessions and do that also? Like, why not? Let's
Yeah.
just keep going.
Well, you guys are probably so good at it at this point too. I mean,
Well,
like
it's not
meaning
about
that like you
good at it, it's just-
synergize pretty well, right?
Like,
Yeah.
when we get together, there's no shortage. So it's not hard. You know what I mean? It's fun for us. So
you love making the music because you love making the music.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that
It shows, though. I mean, like it shows, especially on these 4 new, like these newer songs, man. They just clap. I'm really excited.
Oh yeah.
We
Thank
got
you.
to see it when we were young, so
Yeah.
we got a little taste.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for tonight.
Tonight's fun.
For people listening, we're hitting the Salt Lake City show tonight. This might come out a little bit later, but
It's gonna come out. People are gonna be like, "Fuck, I gotta go to that show."
Should have came, dude. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, no, how was Boise?
Boise was awesome. Boise was loud as fuck.
You
Was
put
it?
Yeah, you put noisy Boise on
Noisy,
Twitter.
yeah.
Where was it
Yeah, I
at?
love that.
What venue?
Knitting Factory.
Oh, okay.
So our front of house guy's in our ears. Like, he can talk to us in our ears,
Yeah.
and no one else can. Most of the time, he just says like disturbingly horny things to us.
Yeah. Good.
Right.
But
Normal.
it's for like, hey guys, like the kick drum mic fell out. You know what I mean? Like, it's for
Yeah,
that, for our
yeah.
crew and stuff.
Right.
Last night he's like, I can't fucking hear you. This crowd is too loud.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome.
He's like, I'm
We love
trying. He's like, I'm trying to beat them.
Shout
and I
out to
can't.
Boise.
we're from Idaho.
We're
Yeah.
from Idaho, so
We probably would have caught that show if it wasn't for plane tickets.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Cheaper to Salt Lake, probably. I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were loud as
That's
fuck.
awesome.
So Hopefully tonight will be the same.
That's awesome. Shout out to our Idaho folk.
The potatoes.
They're all carved up and ready to party.
Potatoes. What's your favorite kind of potato?
It's tough, man.
This is an Idaho question, so
I'm like
this
a
is
russet
important.
guy. I like a russet, like a
Oh,
baked
yeah.
potato,
Yeah, sure.
classic baked potato. But if I'm doing mashed potatoes, I'm doing Yukons,
Okay.
a little more waxy.
Yep.
But on a regular basis in my house, fingerlings.
Oh, okay.
We crushed my wife as a fingerling kind
Right.
of person. But
I'm glad that you.
I bet you didn't expect that much of an answer.
No,
I was gonna say,
we're
I'm
impressed
impressed.
because we don't.
That's awesome.
We
people
honestly
usually
just
like
ask
chips.
people that as a joke, and we're getting like a legit answer.
People are
Yeah.
like,
We're like, we shouldn't even ask them.
Don't ask me about food. I'll give you all the answers you want.
people
Oh, well,
usually
while
like
you're
their
on
own
it,
ruffles.
Amateur chef too, then, huh?
Yeah. I love to cook.
Oh, really?
Love
Okay.
to cook, yeah.
All right. What's your if you were on death row, what's your last meal?
Fuck, that's tough.
Oh, dude.
Well, that's a tough one. I know my
That's a
wife.
good question.
I know
this
my.
is a good
You know
question.
what's funny is my death row meal is just ignorant. Like it's a bunch of things.
Oh, okay.
It's like too many things. It's
Yeah.
like I'll be really specific. I'm gonna give like all the foods that I want to eat before I died.
Okay.
It's a California burrito from Filiberto's in Vista, California, but it's California burrito with carnitas instead of
Okay.
carne asada. It is like a big salad bar, like a salad bar salad. Like
Oh, yeah,
where I can pick all the toppings. Salad
Right.
bar is one of my favorite foods. Funny enough.
Yeah.
Salad bars are
It's yeah,
money.
it's like a perfectly fucking cooked ribeye and a baked potato.
Yeah.
I like medium.
Don't say well done. We'll
no,
have
it's
to-
a
okay.
medium. Like the sear is fucking crucial.
Yeah.
Thick, crunchy salt on top.
Yeah.
Maybe some like kind of roasted garlic cloves on top too.
Oh,
Mm,
so good.
And then I'm gonna do like a bowl of pasta.
yeah.
Yeah.
White sauce or red sauce?
You know what? I'm not even like a sauce guy. I'm like put a little bit of the pasta water in the pan with like some garlic and like
Oh,
Parmesan kind of
Yeah.
like
What a move.
salt and pepper.
yeah. That's
Kind of like ketchup pepe thing.
that's an expert move.
That's
right
a pro
Yeah.
move.
there. Yeah.
That's
sure.
dang.
I cook. I realized my wife was like, "What's your fucking thing?" Like everyone's got a thing that cook. Like, oh, like you're a cook. Like, what's your fucking thing? I didn't realize it till like last month, and lasagna is my thing.
Oh,
I
nice.
fuck up lasagna.
You're talking from
Dude,
scratch.
that's a complicated
I make
thing.
a fucking
Really?
ripping lasagna.
Oh
Dude,
man.
that's a complicated thing. Mine would be like PB&J, probably.
Well,
Like,
that's the funny thing is that's not cooking.
that's assembling. That's assembling.
You're a great assembler.
Yeah, I'm
He's
yeah.
a sandwich artist.
Yeah, I'm a sandwich artist.
Artists are artists. Artists
Right.
are.
Yeah, art is art.
No, I fuck up a lasagna though for sure.
Yeah.
I like doing a bunch of ground beef and ramen noodles. Does that count?
That does count. You do have to cook it.
It's so good.
We would get home from school.
Oh my
we would get home from school, and Andy would just be like, "Oh, I'm hungry," and he'd go throw a freaking slab of bologna in the microwave and microwave it, and it would turn into like
That's
a grease ball.
So no, it's good. No, that reminds me, like, dude, fried bologna is the fucking shit. I'm with you on there, dude. My wife's family growing up, like a Christmas staple is like the Christmas sausage, like the beef stick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You slice that up and throw it in the microwave.
No man.
Whole different food.
Like a summer sausage?
Yes,
What?
different food.
Dude, that's right up your alley, bro.
crisps up. Yeah,
We
doubles
used to
up.
go over to his house, and his mom would do like a bear claw and then put a slab of bologna on the top of it.
Have you ever
too.
heard of
It's
that?
white trash as fuck, but I like it. But that sounds delicious.
It was a
It is
Well, no,
good.
but honestly though, some of the that wasn't a diss.
no.
but like
No, it
that's-
is 100%.
But that's like some of the most like the trashiest foods are the best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Like my wife's family came from my family's born and raised in California.
Yeah.
My wife's family's born and raised in like Oklahoma, and
Right.
even when they're in California, like Bakersfield. So they had a lot of like different food stuff where I was like, well, this is not what my mom used to make, and I would never shit on it because like her grandpa would crush like a bologna sandwich. Like you get some
Dude.
toast, bologna, cheese, mayo. What is life? Like get out of here. That's amazing.
It is, though.
It's amazing. Like there's certain things where it's just like there's a reason. It's cheap and it's
I don't know why I love bologna so much.
because it rips. That's why.
It's-
Have you ever had like bologna like in like Italian bologna?
No,
I know.
like where they cut it fresh.
America ruined food. I mean,
yeah.
obviously you know this,
They
but like Italy had mozzarella, and they're like, this is this beautiful thing we made with extra meat and pistachios and things in it. And then America was like, we're putting all our lips and asses together to call it bologna. And they're like, but that's not even the place in Italy is Bologna. They're like, yeah, bologna.
Yeah, that's what we said.
America
Yeah.
sucks.
Baloney.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're saying the
That's what I
same
said.
thing.
This is the worst version of what you did.
So, yeah.
We are the worst
You know,
sometimes.
we were just in Europe, and this is how bad America sucks. Is that we've now reverted our shittiness back to Europe to where they think it's worse than it actually is. You go to like restaurants in like the UK and shit, and then there'd be all these like barbecue restaurants or American themed restaurants, and it'd be like American burgers, and it'd be like the ultra American Texas burger. It's got 4 beef patties, 6 slices of cheese, brisket, onion rings. And you're like, we don't even do that. We don't have that.
You're taking it
Like,
too
you
far.
took it so far.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you think we do?
I kind of want to go there now, honestly.
Dude, it was like, but you look at these menus and you're like, this is what you think we
Oh,
do?
it's crazy.
It's bad.
Yeah, I spent a little bit of time in Brazil, and they were like, I mean, every time they would try to Americanize food down there, especially for like people that they knew, like, you know, when we would go to people's houses and they
Yeah.
knew we were American, they would be, you know, it would just be
Over
like
the
crazy.
top.
And I'm over here just like, bro, because down there it was like a lot of like salted meat and then rice and beans.
Yeah.
And I loved it. By the time I left, I was like, that's all I want.
Yeah.
It was the Brazilian food
Yeah.
and the fruit. But like when they would try to like even them trying to make cheese and peanut butter, we had people that would try to make cheese, and because peanut butter is not a thing
Yeah.
anywhere really except for here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and so it was
Really?
yeah.
When it doesn't, it's not. If it
It's
is
not
a
the
thing,
same.
it's not like our peanut butter.
They legit like
Really?
mix crunched up
Peanuts.
peanuts and butter.
Yeah.
They legit do that.
It's just like crushed peanuts. Have you ever gotten like? Have you ever
My
seen
mind
the-
is blown.
Have you ever seen like the organic peanut butter thing, like Whole Foods?
Yeah.
Well, your mind just fucking ground peanuts.
Yeah.
It still tastes good, but like again, American peanut butter is
Yeah.
garbage.
Skippy, dude.
Fucking
The
garbage.
Peter Pan.
The best stuff.
My mom would mail me.
Dude,
My mom would mail me the Peter Pan, and then this is just proving the point. This is probably bad, but then I would open up a thing of M&Ms and pour it into.
do you have ADD? That sounds like some ADD shit. All my friends had ADD, used to eat the weirdest fucking sugar food.
Yeah. I'm an
gotta
artist.
be
We just talked
colorful,
about the
too.
PB&J. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an artist. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I express myself.
Dude, it sucks for my kids, but we're a crunchy or super crunch peanut butter family.
Oh, yeah.
Talk.
There's no other way.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
yeah.
no other way.
My kids, unfortunately, and I apologize to them in the future if they hear this and hate me for it. Me and my wife buy creamy peanut butter in our house because we know that we won't eat it. But if the crunchy's in the house, we will eat it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it will be gone too fast.
Yeah.
My wife wakes up in the middle of the night and eats a spoonful of peanut
Yeah.
butter in her sleep, straight up.
Yeah.
And I will be like, oh, it's 11:30 and I'm hungry. Spoonful of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Just ruin my fucking
Fixes everything.
Yeah.
But it's like if it fixes everything but your diet.
Yeah.
So we purposely buy our trainer at home calls peanut butter white girl diet killer. Yeah.
Dude.
Because it's true. Like girls are like doing so good all day and be like, I got a spoonful of peanut butter. And it's like 350 calories. Anyways, we buy
I used to do that all the
shitty
time,
peanut
too.
butter for our kids.
For you.
For our own
Really
safety.
for you. Dude, you gotta have a big thing of milk too. If you do like
Yep.
a thing, right?
That's also why my wife doesn't like having peanut butter in the house because her entire family has a problem with milk.
Oh, they're like big
they're
milk
fucked up
drinkers.
milk. And I like milk. Don't get me wrong, I love milk too. But like,
Yeah.
she's like, I don't even want to buy milk because I'll just rip through milk too fast.
Yep.
Better just not have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like on the bus, dude. Our crew first day, it was like, or a few days, it was like assorted bag of chocolates and candies. And on the fucking rider, we're like, can we not do that? If it's here, we're gonna fucking eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
Instead, it's
I
like,
can't even imagine that on the road too.
well,
Like,
now it's better because most of our rider, it's like 0% Greek yogurt, vegetable tray, rotisserie chicken,
right.
lunch deli meats, gluten-free tortillas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
basic, mostly healthy.
Yeah.
So our crew, unfortunately, we basically do to our crew what I do to my kids as parents.
I was always kind of curious about how that worked. Actually, I never knew like how you guys ate on tour.
I mean, you get like a rider, like a hospitality rider every day. There's like a budget. And we just shop for whatever we want every day.
really?
So
Oh.
ours is literally, I'll go down what our dailies are: a shitload of bubbly waters of some sort,
Yeah. Yeah.
booze, tequila, whiskey, wine, usually White Claws.
Oh yeah, White Claws.
Yeah.
Love
It's
that.
sandwich shit, bread, meat, cheese, peanut butter and jelly, veggie tray, fruit tray, rotisserie chicken, Celery juice, a lot of celery juice.
Celery juice.
A handful of dudes love. It's really good for your liver.
Oh.
Really good for detoxifying your
Mm,
insides. So we punish your insides as much as we do. It's good.
right.
Cheez-Its are pretty mainstay.
Cheez-Its, yes.
Yeah.
White cheddar.
We usually do extra toasty
Okay.
or big Cheez-Its are good too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the big ones.
Yeah. Chips and salsa is a big one. We just started doing. We got a accidental bag of shredded cheese on the first day. Like they got us like shredded cheddar instead.
Accidental.
So I started making what I call Step Brothers nachos.
Yeah.
like-
where they put them in the microwave.
That's just like
No,
shitty
yeah.
nachos. But the same thing is you're like, I can't do that every night. Can't keep doing this.
Throw
Nice.
a
Keep
bologna
doing
on
this.
top of
Yeah, a
it.
little bologna. Dude,
Dude, well, we just made. Dude, hold on a second. Well, do you have bologna?
We
No,
just
it's
white
become
trash
best
heaven.
friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. But it's try to eat that too. But then like it sucks too because like you go to places and find stuff that you love everywhere.
yeah.
Like for instance, in Salt Lake, there's a Mexican chain called Beto's,
Yep.
and we love their breakfast burritos. So I think they're probably in the front now. I think our bass player fucking Uber eats like 25 burritos probably
Right.
because
Hell
we'll eat
yeah.
them forever.
Yeah.
He used to be bad. He's like he'll get something he likes and he'll get like 10 of them. Like we'll go to Philly, like he used to get like 15 cheesesteaks and just throw it in the fridge. But
Like you're
so
never-
bad.
Yeah. Like
Never gonna go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
We
great.
we can't get off the food subject without appeasing Liz and her pineapple on pizza.
Oh.
Okay.
Is that
Just one of
okay?
your
This
Is
is one of our
pineapple on
Discord
pizza
people.
okay?
Yeah.
Or what do you
I think
think
it's
about
Step
it?
Fast Club member too.
I think it's fine. I don't I will eat it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like you love it though.
It's not my favorite,
Okay.
but I'm not mad at it. I can't understand. I think that if people are that mad at a pizza topping, there's some deeper therapy that they need to go into.
That's where I come in.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as someone like you probably this is probably good for you as a therapist. Like if someone comes into you and they're like deep dark parental fucking trauma and like I have anger towards my father. I bet if you asked them about pineapple on pizza, they'd be like, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like I bet I would put those
That's
two together.
probably true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work that into my practice because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The trauma, right?
Yeah.
Things aren't supposed to be together like that, right?
Yeah. But I'm a salty sweet guy. Like, I love all the salty or like those.
Right,
combos.
like-
And that's what I tell
Yeah.
people. Put pineapple on there, but throw some jalapenos on there too.
That's a great thing. I love a supreme pizza.
Oh yeah,
I don't want pineapple on that supreme pizza.
that's right.
It
That
just
makes
gets,
sense.
yeah.
Because
too
the
much.
math doesn't add up on that.
Yeah. But they used to do a dessert pizza at this place where I grew up. And it was like a pizza crust, but the crust was cold. And then they would do cream cheese and like chocolate chips and like carob chips and then pineapple and coconut. And that was fucking good.
Oh, that sounds great.
Coconut's another one of those
amazing.
polarizing things too. Where like I love coconut. People that don't like coconut will fight.
Really hate it. Yeah, it's not like it is. It's like because there's people that are like, oh, it's a texture thing, or
You know what's better than Canadian bacon pineapples? The combo.
yeah,
Regular bacon is way better.
Oh yeah.
Because then you have
You mean-
salty.
regular bacon
And
and pineapple.
pineapple.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Because then it's salty.
I think
Or
it
like you
goes
said,
together.
throw some
Oh.
penos on there.
Yeah.
there you
Spicy,
go.
salty, sweet.
Gotta have balance.
Life.
Eclectic.
Yeah.
Gotta have
You're right.
balance.
I think that these people are just given the wrong combos.
That's
That's why they're
probably
mad.
And I would never order just pineapple. Like
No.
it doesn't belong by
You're not a
itself.
psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
What I don't like is when the pineapple's under the cheese and you don't know it's coming.
Oh.
That
is-
pisses me
this is
off.
You know what that's called?
What?
You don't order pizza from there anymore. They don't know what
This
they're
is
doing.
a-
That's also called trust issues.
It is.
This is the oatmeal. This is the oatmeal raisin cookie conversation thing again, right? Where you get an oatmeal raisin cookie, but you think it's oatmeal chocolate chip, and then you take a bite and it's a raisin, and you just. And I don't have a problem with raisins, but that makes me want to
But
die.
here's the thing, though. I think this is all dealing back to some deeper issues.
That's probably true.
Because where's your brain at if you thought it was oatmeal chocolate chip?
Dude,
No one did.
No.
That's a special
That's not
occasion
even a
cookie.
That's not even a thing.
That's,
true.
I've probably had
The
one
other
my
day-
whole life.
Dude, there was cookies yesterday at the fucking venue. The five of us housed a fucking like 12 basket of cookies in like 30 seconds. They randomly brought these cookies in for everyone. And then the five of us ate all of them.
Yeah.
But they had white chocolate chip cranberry.
Oh.
And that blew my mind because I was expecting white chocolate chip macadamia.
Oh,
Right?
right.
Blew my head off.
Was this from Crumble? Was that where that
No,
was?
it was just like the venue made them.
Oh,
wow.
really?
But
Oh,
yeah,
yesterday in Boise.
Is
that
there-
where that was?
I
Was
think
that,
we're yeah, yesterday, Boise. I
Yeah.
think we're opening up the fact that you should take this to your practice.
I should.
Food aversions
Yeah.
linking to deeper trauma.
Oh my gosh, there's such a link there. I'm going to do a study on
Study
that.
on it.
Would you participate if I did a study
100%.
on that? Okay.
I'm in.
You would co-chair it or something.
Yeah, I would.
wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
I'm in.
I'll bring this thing in
What a guy,
return.
by the way. This is
What
what
a
a
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
the whole potato thing was like a joke. Like we were like, should
Oh,
we
yeah.
even do that? And look at how great of a conversation.
Look how
it turned
far we've
into.
come.
Well, this
Yeah.
is the Sultans of Slack podcast too. So
Yeah.
usually, what's funny about it is sometimes we go in, we end up shooting from the hip a lot. You know,
These things started as Twitter Spaces that we would do.
Yeah.
And it was we called it the Death Bats Club community stuff. But then we're like, oh, if we turn it into a podcast, we'd have to change the name and do all that. But it really just all branched off of that. So
You can't call. I guess you can't call it that.
I mean, yeah, because you know,
I think it's super funny
if-
about the like intellectual property stuff with like a lot of NFTs too. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
how it's yours.
right.
And I
Yeah.
was joking with my wife. Like I'm like, my deathbed's sick. Like I have a fucking cool one. And I'm like, if I could put this on T-shirts all day long, and clean house.
yeah,
And then I would just have the weirdest conversations with my best friends.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
See?
fucking sick.
yeah.
That's
Like,
the one I minted that one.
and
Yeah.
that's dope. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I could clean house, but then it'd be like, hey, like, how's things going? Like, oh, it's going really good. Like, Brian's like, oh, I see you got a new car. What are you doing? Like, I've been selling death that much, actually. Thanks for asking. Like, it's too
Selling
weird.
your bags.
Yeah,
It's too weird. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
It is funny. Because it's like such a new thing. Like the idea is like such a new thing. Everybody's explored it a lot. We've seen a lot of interesting things, but we are probably some of the first people to like do a lot of stuff with our IPs and stuff like
Who
that.
was saying
so.
that there's like a gym? I think Matt was saying like a gym somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
Florida, I
that's
think,
right.
like
I
Orlando
saw
or
that.
something.
Yeah, I saw
I
the
think
gym.
it just brings a more awareness to your brand.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know?
cool idea too.
Does it give you the idea to do any Web3 stuff with Atreyu or Saller Hot Water or anything?
100%. I think that it's for us. I think it's a space that would be a bigger move that I would like to wrap more of the music around and the releasing around. Obviously, we're on a record label right now, so that gets a little sticky.
All right.
But I do see the value in releasing music purely through that, because it really does become. I mean, you look at Death Bats Club. It becomes your fan club.
Yeah.
It becomes so much more than that. It becomes so much more of an inclusive thing and an interactive thing for your fans. That, if you just included your music in that as the entry level step, with so much more potential to grow onto that,
Right.
and things that even as the entry level step, where it's like you could buy the album for the mint fee, whatever it was, and it already comes with something else. Like,
Right.
there's so much more so much more value you can add.
Yeah.
So
I-
we've all discussed it. It's a lot. I've seen what the Avenged dudes have had to go through with. I mean, they're the best dudes to kind of pioneer and kind of steer the ship for other artists,
Right.
because they're so like tenacious. Like they will not stop. And I mean, how many people have just shit on the idea where it's like, how many times has Matt been like, no, let me listen to me again. Let me explain it to you again.
And
Listen to me again.
he's always so calm. He
So
never gets
calm.
upset about it. He's like, I get it's hard, like,
Yeah.
but
Let me just tell you, it's going to take a lot of time and bands like them to do this stuff. But I think that the value there is like insane.
yeah.
So 100%.
And
that'll be
you
something.
could always, there's so much. You've got unreleased music that you
Yeah.
could just be like, hey, we decided to airdrop everybody that has a
song.
token. Yeah, a new
Boom.
song. Yeah,
That's
And
fucking nuts.
yeah.
Like you can't do that anywhere else.
No,
It does. It releases a lot of stuff that you can't do otherwise. So
Well, just as a fan club like element too. Like things are things that we've been able. I mean, I've seen.
you've gotten to go to places and literally party with the band.
Yeah, with them.
and
Yeah.
this is a guy that's been to like 20 Avenged concerts.
Yeah, so-
He says that twice a day. That
Yeah.
He's been to 20
I've
Avenged
been to
concerts.
20 events, concerts, 19. But here's the thing about it. No, but that is true, and I'd never met him.
Yeah.
And I've been going since I was like 14.
Now
right?
you've met them in the most intimate, personal.
Yeah. Like they know my name. That's
Yeah.
what was weird.
The
Like,
video for the New York City party.
Yeah.
It is enshrined now. Sin looked at the camera and was like, this is a fucking stud right here. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it was weird. It was a really weird
that
experience for
opportunity is
us.
not possible any other way through email lists or
You never got that
Patreons or-
experience to your email list?
Yeah.
Deathbat. What was the email list called? Remember? It still goes on, like the Deathbat News one or whatever.
Oh yeah.
No, that was Courtney.
Deathbat
Yeah,
Nation. Death Bed Nation.
sorry.
Anyway,
Sorry,
but,
Courtney.
I mean, it's not the connection to the band. It's like
Oh shit.
it becomes less record label band fans at the end and more just
no middleman.
no middleman. You can just
And it's
go straight to the fans.
exactly. And there's ways where you could do it too, where like you can make them like affordable too.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you could do this thing, like this kind of bundle thing, whatever, where it's like, oh, you were gonna buy a bundle for a band anyways, and get the vinyl and the shirt and the whatever. Like now, just package it under this other thing, and then you can also get all these other things and be a part of this. You're creating more of a community,
Right.
Yeah.
which is 100% something I'm interested in.
And our buddy Nick, lead singer from Monolith Zero, he's used it as sort of a crowdfunding way to
make an album.
Yeah, to make an album and do some things like a band that's starting out, you know,
When we
pay some of those fees.
It
And,
really is. For Hell or High Water, in the early days, we weren't on a label for the first 2 releases, and we would do like GoFundMe's for stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we need a new trailer.
Yeah.
And we would do things like, oh, like we'll record whatever cover song you want. Like free shows for life, all these different things, whatever. And so like there's like
That's
a random Hotel California cover, a death metal Hotel California cover that exists because of that.
Right.
It's like it's the same concept, but just like on a grander scale. That's
So cool.
keep on going.
Limitless opportunities. Yeah.
And it's cool too because you can continue, like you said, like we're in the studio right now, and the album doesn't come out for 6 months, and this song's probably not going to make the album. It just doesn't fit. But you know what? You guys can have it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to exist to anyone else but you.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of
that's nuts.
side B stuff would be just that's
And
just
people save tickets for concerts and things like that, and you can send them like didn't Avenge say they're doing like clips from the shows or something that you attend and stuff like
Yeah.
that's so wild.
Yeah.
well the Pop Wonders.
You'll have it
too.
for-
I want to use my ticket still.
You want to use your
Funny.
Pop Wonder ticket?
No, like I have like my
Oh,
like
yeah,
everyone got a ticket.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
I want to use it one day,
You should.
Yeah.
even though I don't need to.
you don't need to.
I'm not going to sell it to somebody.
That would be funny though. That would be
I'd like
funny.
I'd like to redeem my ticket, please.
Yeah.
Like Brandon, what are you doing?
Like wait in line. All
Yeah.
day.
You should just do it to see if they catch it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah. Actually,
whoever's like watching it as it happens, so they know what when to send tickets or where
for
to send them.
the Madison Square Garden show. That'll be
Yeah.
I actually burned one for the MSG show.
sick. You guys
Yeah.
are, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
You're gonna
Oh,
be at
nice.
the
My
yeah.
birthday's on the 24th, so
Mine's the 29th. Yeah.
I'm gonna be at the LA one a week before, a couple weeks before I'm going to that one. And that's where I burned and I burned one of the tickets for that too. And so dude, that's gonna be sweet. I'm
Yeah, I
pumped.
couldn't pass that up. I've never been to Madison Square Garden.
neither have I. We played the other room on this last tour, but not the actual
Right.
arena. I've never been, so it's fun.
It's gotta be
amazing.
awesome.
Fun little birthday.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
It's going to be your birthday?
Yeah, my birthday's
The 24th.
24th. So
40?
Oh,
40.
20.
That's your 40th birthday?
You're June 24th?
yeah.
Oh, my
It's funny because last year I was in New York with the dudes also for the Death Rats party.
Yeah. Oh my
My
gosh.
girlfriend, Dakota, hers is the 25th.
That's my daughter's birthday.
Oh my
Oh, nice.
gosh.
Yeah.
We should all get together and have a party.
We should just all have a big birthday dinner.
Well, mine's March 26th, but we'll find a way to make that
squeeze it,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a 20. It's a 20, yeah.
No,
I'm on Halloween. The hell?
Oh,
No,
Andy's birthday party every year is a huge
No one really
event.
cares about my birthday because it's on a holiday.
Dude, we
It's
always
like-
have a big costume party and stuff. Except for this year, we were with the band, I guess.
At least
but-
not Christmas. I have multiple friends that are birthdays on Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, that's
Sucks.
a rough one.
You always got to remember the
I think
text.
July 26th or something is like the perfect one because it's like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
My mid-summer I love. Mine's June 24th, but then my youngest daughter is June 25th, which means I don't have a birthday
Yeah.
for at least 18 years.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm actually doing something this year because we're literally flying to New York.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's just like you think you're safe, but then your child steals your birthday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got my older brother and my younger sister are 5 years apart on the same day, 2 days before Christmas. Ain't that wild?
Fuck, screwed.
Dude, that's rough.
Yeah, I get to sit there and watch them all week open present. I'm the middle child. I got middle child
That's
syndrome like
tough,
crazy.
man. We have like in my family, we have my daughter's January 19th. We have Christmas. My wife's in December. Like there's all these things from like mid or early December to like mid January. There's like 4 or 5 holidays or birthdays
Yeah,
in a row.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Ridiculous.
And as you get older too, there's just more. There's just more things to celebrate. When you're a kid, you don't really see it that way. But
No. No.
Yeah, as you get older.
Floating around.
My son's birthday is like February 22nd, and then we have a million birthdays in March. And March is our month.
That's your
like
month. It's
all
a
of
big
us.
month.
And so like it's just like that time of year, we ain't do nothing except for whose birthday is it this Saturday?
Father's
Yeah.
Day too. Father's Day and my birthday are like right close.
Oh, that's right.
So it's tough because it's like
Yeah.
you kind of just get.
We try
My
to
wife does
golf.
cool shit.
We golf on Father's Day. That's what we
That's
try
a
to
good
do.
one. That's
You know
a
what I
good
mean?
one.
Because my dad likes to golf.
That's some
right?
dad stuff.
That's
Are
some
you a
dad
golfer?
stuff.
I don't golf, but I drive a mean cart, especially when I'm drunk. I
There you
drive
go.
a cart.
Right. It's insane.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't condone drunk driving except if you're on a golf course.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually, there's like ponds and stuff. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
Like
you're
you
not
can hit, you can hit
Speaking
anybody.
of that,
Probably
I mean, we found out
Yeah.
from the drowning video you can swim. So
Very well.
Yeah.
yeah.
that was one of my. I feel like it's kind of a dumb question to ask the lead
no
singer
dumb
of a band, but
There's no stupid
Like the-
questions, only stupid people. Remember that.
like the most, like the craziest tour story you have. Yeah, maybe too cliche of a question, but I just want to know.
We're pretty mellow.
Just one.
I feel like we're a really mellow band compared to our peers and my friends. But I'm trying to think of something weird that's happened on tour. Gotten in a couple fights, nothing major. No one got like crazy fucked up. Yeah, we're fucking.
Who's trying to fight you though? That's crazy.
This dude's trying to
dumb.
fight my brother at a strip club,
Oh,
and then
but is your brother a big guy like you?
he's tall, but he's
Tall.
lanky.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's not just like a gorilla level.
Right.
He's just like tall. But the dude was bummed afterwards.
Right.
But that's about it. Nothing too crazy. Trying to think. It's like
That's kind of,
when you really we're like a really safe band.
yeah.
Like we're like a little too responsible.
When
I think.
Danny ran you down at Resorts World, do you remember
I
that?
don't know if you remember that or not. We were there for when we were young.
Uh-huh.
It was funny because we had literally just run into Cam Rackham, and Courtney was like, "Oh, look, there's Cam." We chatted with him
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a minute, and I turned
Was
around
it in
and
that
I'm like,
kind of center bar thing?
he
I was
was
hammered.
he was leaving somewhere, and we just saw him like walking down
Yeah.
the corridor or whatever, and I was like, "Oh shit, there's Brandon Saller. Should I go get him too?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I like tapped you on the shoulder, and you're like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" Just like kept walking. I was like, "Oh."
You were with like
You had an
group,
entourage with you
okay.
that
and you were
time,
like
yeah.
not slowing down. I think because you had this
It's-
group of
You had to
people.
get somewhere.
It's hard in
I wasn't
Vegas.
even insulted. I was like, "Hey, he said what's up." So
What's up?
Dude,
yeah.
in Vegas, it's difficult because wherever we're going, like someone's getting us in.
Right.
place.
Right.
So if you get separated,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're the guy that's like, oh, where'd you guys go? Let's send somebody else. So
Oh.
whenever Vegas is like beeline,
We have to go where we're going. Oh yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
that makes so much sense.
That first day that got canceled. Did y'all end up playing anywhere else? Because I know
No.
a lot of bands ended up like doing little small gigs here and there.
No, we were going to, and then it was like there was a couple options, and then we were like, let's just hang it.
Live in
I went
it.
to the Bring Me show and saw a little bit of that, but that's the only thing that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch any other bands at when we were young?
Watched AFI,
Oh,
Take
yeah.
Back Sunday, watched The Used, Jimmy Eat World.
That's
Like
my first
Cam.
time seeing Jimmy Eat World. They were actually surprised me. They were really good.
Yeah.
It's a major Warped Tour nostalgia going on.
For sure.
Got to see The Used and, like you said, AFI, crazy that.
You know what was
And then My
wild?
Chemical Romance.
My Cam was sick.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
What was wild? We went with Courtney for her birthday to go see Katy Perry, and Katy Perry was referencing Warped Tour as well, and brought out a guitar and
I remember
played some
the
music.
first time I saw Katy Perry was on Warped Tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was wild.
That was
On like a small stage.
I was gonna say that was like when was
2008 or something like that.
yeah,
7, 8.
I remember when that was going on because she was more she was a little bit more punk and stuff
Yeah.
back then anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember that. And
We went to dinner at Resort World, and we were trying to leave right when Katy Perry show got out.
oh,
It was a nightmare.
I bet.
It was not fun.
It's crazy how huge. And rightfully so. I mean, I have a huge
She's
crush
sick.
on her.
Yeah,
I have a huge
sick.
crush on her.
That was the first time I'd seen her, and she's kind of a badass. Like
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
I had no
was
idea
really
she could
impressed.
play the guitar. I had no clue.
Yeah,
That
she's
blew me away.
yeah.
When are you getting your Food Network show?
Dude, we thought of a sick idea the other, not Food Network, for HGTV. If anyone out there is listening that has a plug for HGTV that can get us a connection, me and Dan have the best idea for a show. So they do like restaurant takeover, and
Yeah.
restaurant remodel
Yeah,
shows. We want to do the same thing with venues. So
Oh.
venues submit, and me and Dan show up as two dudes from a band that know what bands want for like a backstage, and really remodel a backstage of these venues because so many of them are fucking trash. Be great.
That'd be
dude.
amazing. That'd be.
I think it's
That would
great.
be
idea.
awesome.
I think you should do it for the whole venue, even.
Just
Just like,
cool too. Just remodel the whole thing.
yeah, because I mean, there's
so
fans
many
aren't gonna
things-
like that. Come on, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
like there's so many things too that are just in the backstage that are just like shot. Where you're like,
Yeah.
why did they do that? This is not.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be
That's
rad.
the one
So
to do.
trying to get
I like
to get the plug for that. And if Food Network wants to give me a show,
Yeah.
I'll
day?
Would you use the boom catchphrase or whatever? Or
I
what would
try to
you?
come up with my own. I think.
Yeah.
I secretly like. I want to be friends with Guy Fieri so bad. I just like hit him on Twitter every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to build awareness.
Yeah.
There's like our worlds are not too far apart.
Right.
No.
He's parallel.
He's a rock
He's
star.
at least heard of my band.
He's
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Like, there's no way he's never at least heard of Atreyu, or like, I would be like, he's probably heard "Become the Bull" or
yeah.
maybe
Guaranteed.
Times Now or something.
He's heard that song.
I'm saying like
Yeah.
he's listened to the same stations.
Yeah.
Like
There's no way he's got that hair and he
he's
hasn't
friends
heard.
with Brett Michaels. Like we're basically
Yeah,
fucking
that's the
friends.
same thing. That's basically the same thing.
I just want to like be friends with Guy Fieri. Invite him out to a show and
That's cool.
party, and then maybe he can give me a cooking show.
We know a Guy Fieri impersonator.
Name a
so-
burger after you had his restaurant.
Seriously,
Yeah.
my wife, we did Shiprocked, and there was a Guy Fieri burger spot, and she didn't like the name Donkey Sauce. That just bummed her out. So I just whenever I want to get at her, I
He's
just
the
say
triple.
Donkey Sauce.
Is he the triple D guy, right?
Yeah, Triple D, Triple G,
Yeah, because there's like
Tournament of Champions. I watch.
No.
there's like 3 or 4 triple Ds, right? You guys
Yeah.
are pretty close to him, and so
Oh yeah,
we eat at him a lot around
Yeah.
here too. So
love Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri, if you're listening, if anyone's listening that knows Guy Fieri, just shout him out. Send him to us.
We know a guy that dressed up as him for the Halloween
Yeah,
party.
he's
for
our
events,
impersonator.
but
That's close enough.
yeah, we'll get him here. We'll get Jesse.
I'll hang out with him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much again,
We
Brandon.
appreciate it.
We're super humbled. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so
appreciate
much.
All right.
Be sure and catch us on our next episode where Law of the Saw explains PFP projects.
And a lot of the ones of the meta at the time were like these cute little cuddly creatures of like, oh, you're hee, like Care Bear, like cuddly hee, and
Danny recalls horrifying things about his past.
That's when I got attacked by the rat. Was waiting for the craniums party.
And Craig undervalues himself, and it isn't true. Craig.
I always describe to people I'm slightly above average on most things.
Law is more than just a pretty voice on a podcast. Law of the Saw's talents are on full display.
singing Avenged Sevenfold.
I'll dig a hole, put water in it, and stir it up, make a little mud pot,